My name is Mohammed and I'm a fourth year medical student here at the University of Birmingham. So you're juggling a lot of subjects. Let's be real. Year 11 is probably going to be one of the most intense years you'll ever face. Your GCSEs aren't just your exams. They are stepping stones to doing whatever comes up next, whether it's college, sixth form, uni, apprenticeships, you name it. Right now, it probably feels like there's no time, a ton of pressure, and you're barely keeping up. But here's the thing. What if you could turn all of that pressure into something useful? Imagine going into every single exam
Hey, yo, Eric, are you confident for your answer?
confident and actually ready. Today, I'm going to break down everything you need to know to turn these exams into the best thing ever, and you will absolutely smash your GCSEs using this. So, this is our game plan. Here's the first thing. You need to be able to manage your time effectively. It's all well and good being able to work hard. That's a lot of us. But another important thing is work smart. You want to make sure you're efficient with your timing. Make use of your timing properly. What I would do, make sure you break down and make a list of all the subjects that you need to cover. With that list of subjects, then go through everything that you need to do per subject and write out a list of tasks that you need to do. Then slowly make sure you're prioritizing in terms of difficulties and then in terms of what you have and haven't done. Make sure the ones that you find most difficult, the ones that you feel like, no, if this came up in my exam, I would not feel good about doing it. Make sure you put those towards the top, and then the things that you're quite happy with towards the bottom, so that you're not wasting much time with it. And then focus on the ones that are higher up on that list. So that's the first part of time management. The other aspect of time management is actually when it comes towards timing. Make sure you're not cramming. Cramming is not useful at all. You'd rather spend doing 2-3 hours, which is literally what I'm doing for medical school. So it's working at this big level. And trust me, it'll work for GCSEs. Make sure you're doing an hour or two every single day. Slowly maybe build up some of that time. But make sure you're doing it almost every single day. If you're not able to do it one day, that's fine. Make sure the other day is not a waste. Okay? So make sure short, consistent sessions are better than trying to cram in a lot more longer sessions in a shorter period of time. Next thing, what revision techniques are you using? There's two types. You're either going to be able to use passive or active revision techniques. The passive ones are things like reading your notes, highlighting stuff. These are not as effective and efficient in comparison to these active revision techniques. Answering questions, doing practice questions, making flashcards and doing them. Actually testing yourself is the main idea behind active revision techniques. Testing yourself, blurting, things like this. Which ones are you doing? If you're doing a lot more passive ones, that's why you're not able to remember a lot of the stuff. The point of the active revision techniques is that it really pushes your mind and tests you whether you do or do not know a fact. If you don't, that's completely fine. Go back and learn it. Even if you have to learn it 1,050,000 times, go back and learn it again. That's the only way that you're going to progress. So there's that, your revision techniques. For me personally, I used to start off by doing mind maps on the topics that I was covering. I'd firstly do a mind map on everything that I was able to remember. Anything that I wasn't able to remember, literally, even if my page was half empty, that's calm. Get another pen, go over everything you need to go over again, and then the next day, try see if you can remember everything there. And once again, repeat the same thing. Anything that you can't remember, go over it with another pen. What I'm currently doing when it comes to active revision techniques, and what I did in A-levels mostly, just practice questions. And that's going to bring me on to the next thing. It's all well and good knowing the content, but the thing that's going to get you the grades is, are you able to answer the exam questions? And how does that come from? Practice paper questions. Go over a ton of past paper questions again and again and again and again. I'm not saying do 1,000,000 and then mark them. Do a couple, then mark them, see how they've gone, and then see, okay, what have you done well, what haven't you done well on, what you haven't done well on, go over that again, go over the mark scheme questions as I say, or the mark scheme answers as I say all the time, and then you want to repeat that, and then going on to what you've done well and what you didn't do well on. Know your strengths and weaknesses, really, that's the next point. When it comes towards your exams, you want to prioritize where your weaknesses are. Your strengths are going to remain your strengths if you've kind of solidified them well over time, but your weaknesses are the things that you're constantly struggling with, and that's why you're losing marks. In the exam, you want to maximize the amount of marks you're getting. If you're losing marks in a lot of places, I guess that's the first place that we can try and maximize that mark. Let's focus on where we're losing them on. So go over the past paper questions, see where you're losing your marks on. Is it to do with content? Is it to do with exam technique? What is it specifically that's causing you to lose marks? It's going to be one or the other. If it comes to content, make sure you're going over the content and that specific part of things. Again, if it's to do with exam technique, try to see is there another way that you could answer it. What is it in particular that you're missing? Is it a mark scheme answer that you just aren't familiar with in particular? Maybe you have some idea of what the answer is, but you don't know the mark scheme specific answer. So this is the few things in particular when it comes towards strengths and weaknesses. And then one more thing that's kind of underrated, just having a good work-life balance as well, man. It's all well and good being able to grind all the time, but you need to enjoy life a little bit as well. You need to get some downtime, because first and foremost, a lot of reports, articles, maybe you've covered, shows the importance of giving yourself that little break. I'm not saying have a break literally every 20 minutes that you're doing work, even though that's how some revision techniques work, like the Pomodoro. But I'm just talking about in general, have something else other than your work that is going on in your life as well, just to kind of give your brain a little bit of rest. a little bit of time to relax, relieve yourself of that stress, whether it's having a hobby, whether it's just like watching TV, watching a show, just do something to kind of give yourself a little bit of a break, a bit of a reward as well. That way, it allows yourself to just feel better, to be honest, because I can't lie, it can get a bit boring, exhausting, a bit draining with all the work that you have to do. And if you're not treating yourself in that way, then it's not going to feel rewarding at all, at least in the meantime. But trust me, if you guys are consistent in going over the content, practicing exam questions, going over them, marking them, trying to improve and get better, trust me, you'll go a long way and you'll absolutely smash your grades.